Okay. Okay, so
You don't want everybody start all at once.
yeah.
I waved. What more do you want?
That counts.
That's right.
All right, because some of us are Googling an address that Angie is thinking about moving to.
I was a
So-
professional and was wrapping it up during the intro. Just saying.
So, so there's there. And that's Cecil, who apparently is upset that where are his snackies? He's here in my office. Where is the bowl of snackies?
Nice.
I mean, I complain when I don't have snackies either.
So,
Right. This is snacky time here as well. So
I just wolfed down a snack and I'm still a little bit like,
peckish.
looking around.
Yeah, we just did snackies about 15 minutes ago. So my guys are set. They're quiet. They're happy. They've had their stuff. Alistair was doing his squeezings.
One snacky left in his bag. So, uh-oh. Here you go, Cecil. Okay, so what are we going to discuss?
Slow times and how to handle them. I saw a number of posts, and I was talking to my friend Amy earlier, and I was like, topic, and she's like, slow times, because of all the posts, and I was like, right. So slow times and how to handle them.
Well, there's two approaches to this, and one is a proactive, and we can talk about that. But part of the problem with that is even when you do all the things and try to have a proactive approach, if it still happens, you're like, well, then bleeping what?
Right. Because it does happen.
Oh, yeah.
Even though, like, my customers are booked for the year and things like that, there were still those, every now and again, there'd be that gap because everybody was going on vacation, or, you know, the kids were graduating, or
When school starts, when school ends,
Yep.
when summer starts. We've got a snowbird state, you know, that people come and go in all the time. They have a second home in Arizona, so they go to their proper home in the summer. All kinds of things happen. My philosophy has always been enjoy it. Don't freak out. Take the time for you.
Yeah.
Take the time to do the things that you need to do that have been put off because you've been so busy. That's like the time to do all those things. Get your little list out that you've been waiting on, and do those things instead. And
That's brilliant. Keep a slow day list. Keep a list, because we know no matter how amazing we are on upkeep, there's certain things like, yes, you keep your salon super clean, but you know, some days you want to just tear it apart clean.
yeah, some things need to be pulled out from the wall.
Like you need to pull stuff out. Like I have,
you need to touch up paint.
yes, and pull out your list and look at the time of year. Look and go, okay, is something happening? I try to identify why it's a slow time. And if there's nothing going on, that's when you go back and you look at some of the proactive things that you can start doing now. If it's not a summer break beginning of school, anything. She just said January, which in a lot of salons is a little bit of a slow time.
Mm-hmm.
Plan around that and make notes in your phone, because you can search your phone calendar and go, was it slow this time last year? Let me take a look. And then you can go, oh, maybe I need to plan a vacation.
Mm-hmm.
That's exactly what I did, is because the first 2 weeks of January were always like so slow. So I said, you know what? You know what we're going to do? We're going to close for the first 2 weeks of January. And we did. And it just, I didn't mind. And neither did the staff, because we were tired. And it was like, this is a good time. Because what we would do is I'd take off from the 23rd is our last day, whatever the 23rd was. And then all the way into like I think it was about
January, like 10th or 5th, something.
10th or 15th, depending, And every year I would ask, I'd say, do you guys want to work that week? And universally it was no, because it's also for us a heavy snow week.
Yeah.
So we would have cancellations and reschedules anyway if we were open. And everybody was just like, no, just no. And, riding the high of the Christmas tips. So they were like, and I'm like, okay, do you want to use vacation time? And they're like, no. I'll save that for later. And I'm like, okay, that's fine, whatever. So, yeah, because they had the money from Christmas that they didn't want to use the vacation time, then they wanted to save it for the summer months, which, whatever, it's fine by me. But some things you can do. Like I said, I was speaking with my friend Amy, and she mentioned social media posts.
Yeah.
And that's a big way to reach out to your customer base if you have without running an ad, if you have a regular viewership on your page. And that's why it's important to create that. And I don't mean just post memes, post pictures of the dogs that you groom, or the cats, or the bunnies, or the,
or if you have a bunch of pictures sitting in your phone that you haven't gotten to run through the AI yet to make cute backgrounds or do any of that, or post, hey, do that. Spend half an afternoon.
Yep.
And post some stuff.
Yeah, or focus on services that you are offering that aren't really that popular because no one knows what they are.
Right.
Okay.
Things
Also,
like
I
that.
want to make mention, because there's a lot of people who think that they have to have thousands of people on their business pages for grooming. And I really would like to dispel you of that notion. Right? You do not need groomers from outside the country liking your business page. It will mess up your algorithm. Right? So when I had my mobile grooming page, I had, I think, 236 likes on the page. And that's all I needed. That was actually double the number of my clients. But it was centered around Danbury, Connecticut,
Your area.
Yeah.
my area. So anytime I posted, okay, and it was shared, is more likely to be seen by the people I wanted it to be seen by, rather than some groomer in Wisconsin.
Well, that's what happens is, so I have in my feed at least twice a day, I see an ad for a grooming salon in somewhere else, some other part of the country. And I'm like, why am I seeing somebody else's grooming salon? It's because they do the like ladders. So you like my page, you like my page, you like my page. And that completely throws off your whole ad thing, because in the employment is a whole bunch of pet groomers. So, well, pet groomers like this page. So they think they should advertise to other pet groomers
Instead of the client. Yeah,
instead of,
I don't like a lot of business pages for that reason, unless they're appropriate to what I'm doing. And it's not that I don't like you, it's that liking you isn't doing you any good.
yeah, I won't like somebody's salon page simply because I know it's going to screw up their algorithm for when they do inevitably take out an ad for whatever reason, because you don't want it to go to other groomers. Other groomers are not going to go to your salon.
Right.
They're not. I mean, they may go for a class, but it you want it in your area.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't need to see your ad. You're spending money to show me something. I'm never going to use your services.
Right.
Yeah.
So don't do like ladders. And they come up every so often, and I always try to explain this on the threads.
Yeah, I know. I have given up trying to explain it because my
Yeah.
explanation is ignored.
Yes.
Mhm.
And everybody says, no, I've done it. And I'm like, ugh,
Okay.
no, you don't
Go
understand.
right ahead.
So, yeah. But they do, if you have a social media following from your customers, like when I would do a nail trim day, I'd say, oh, you know what? We're going to have this whole day is going to be nail trims for cats and bunnies and small mammals. I would have my customers tagging their friends and saying, oh, you need to get, Brownie in there with a little guinea pig for a nail trim.
Mhm.
And it's real quick. And we would fill the day with just nail trims. And those we could do during slow seasons because the season was slow.
Mhm.
Nobody was looking to spend money on a groom, but they come in for a nail trim.
Or they didn't have the time for a groom. Like
Exactly.
they're running around, they're like, oof, I'm hearing clackety clacking.
Yeah.
Let me take a half-hour round trip out of my day
Mm-hmm.
and get her done.
Yep. And they did. And we would fill an entire day. And it was nice too, because we would start a little bit later in the day. Because there would be, some of the groomers would have some groomers coming in. But I would do just start at 10 o'clock and we'd work till 5. And it was just 7 hours of nail trims. And we'd schedule them on the 15 minutes.
Mhm.
And most of the cat, rabbit, small mammal, they come as pairs.
Mhm.
So you have 2 for 15 minutes for 7 hours at $20 nail trim.
Right? You could just open up a nail clinic if you had enough clientele. That'd be amazing.
I know house call groomers who do that, who just
Yeah.
do nails.
Yeah, my assistant Angie and I on numerous occasions said, maybe we should just do nails
Mhm.
and Sannies
Mhm.
and that's it.
Mhm.
And she's like, you're broken, I'm broken, let's just do that.
Mhm.
So yeah, it was considered because it, nice work if you can get it. I don't know. I mean, I imagine it could be very viable.
Mhm.
Oh no,
Yeah.
there's a couple of businesses that I know of that are doing really well. All they do is nail trims.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I saw one somewhere. I don't remember. I saw it on Facebook. It was called like Podicure.
Pedicures or pedicures by Tess.
Okay, and she just does. They just do nails and bottoms of feet. Um,
Mhm. Little trimmy trims.
yeah, just so they're not like.
Mhm.
And yeah, I mean,
Another alternative is also, if you're slow, do a week in advance, advertise that you're going to have a little open house or offer a seminar on brushing your dog at home and little simple maintenance tips, and just have them just roll in to say, hey, come on down, offer some little refreshments. And that's a way to rejuvenate people's interest in getting their dog groomed, and they can see your salon. They can mill about. There's no dogs on the floor. So they can go back and see where all the magic happens and how beautiful and clean it is.
Well, and
You know
also
what
another
I'm saying?
option with that is to partner with a local pet store that sells those combs and brushes and do a
Yes.
partnership.
Yeah.
hmm And then just have them feed to your salon. Say, yeah, we're offering packages from, Amy's Pet Products or whatever, to help you. And you can mix and match, 2 for 1, blah, blah, blah. I mean, there's a lot of ways that you can fill that time and still be business oriented and still pull in new clients. And even if they don't book that day, they're like, you know what? I think it's ready for my puppy to be in there, and I'm going to book it with them. So, I mean, slow times are kind of magical. And I know a lot of owners that stress, oh my God, it makes me nervous. Oh, why aren't we booked up? Oh, we should be just booked in advance, 55 years in advance, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, wow, why, how just take it down just a notch, love yourself a little bit, and use those minutes wisely, because you won't get them back. Don't stress over things you can't control. Control the things you can.
Yeah. I work very hard at not stressing about those things because I may have too many irons in the fire. So I get excited. Like I have a little bit of a slower week, like tomorrow and Thursday are a little slower. Like I have 2 dogs tomorrow. I just booked the third on Thursday because I'm like, I could use the money. But I'm like a little excited because I'm like, oh, do I get a nap? Do I get to pack for the Teton show? Like, do I get to actually spend some quality time with the hubby and the dogs before I go away again? That sounds
Right.
fantastic.
hmm
And in addition to that, Chris,
Uh-huh.
you're going to take 5 minutes
Ooh,
and you're going to open up your dryer and see if your brushes need to be changed. Because that's what you do in slow times. You check your brushes,
Yes.
change your blade drive on your clipper.
Deep maintenance.
Yes. Check
Yeah.
your brushes, see if they need to be changed. Change your blade drive and
Gotta
that
do
kind of
both
thing.
those things.
Check your cord. If you have a corded clipper, check your cord, and clean the inside of your clipper out, because I guarantee you it looks like the little hairy man lives in there.
And here's
Shedding.
someone who just got through servicing and changing over a computer that quit working, and they had to buy a new one. And when I opened it up to get the drive out and to get all the files, there were inches of hair inside the tower. I cannot people, you need to take apart your tower and vacuum it out gently. There should not be a cake of hair inside your computer.
I've actually that's been on my mind this past week, and I need to add that to my list because my computer tower is here and my grooming table is right there.
Okay.
And now I'm not full time in this salon. However,
Hair is hair. It gets in there.
Okay, so what I'm going to advise is there's a thing called stroller netting. And if you have electronics, that it will allow it to breathe. However, any residue, hair, fuzz, skin, goo, yuckies will stick to the stroller netting. They come in a set of 2. You can get them on Amazon cheap for like $5.
And they actually come in different sizes.
Yes, they do.
Because they do
But if
they
you
make
don't
them
change them out and wash them regularly and maintain the inside of your tower, it will still get in there.
Yes.
It will still get in there.
So
yes.
Now, this was a weekly thing in our salon, is like the dehumidifier had a hat. And every week that would, you vacuum off at the end of the day the goobies that are in the front of the dehumidifier. But every week that whole thing comes off. It gets thrown in the tub at the end of the day. And when you're cleaning the tub, that stroller netting gets cleaned too. So stroller netting, change your filters on your dryers, clean them, take a vacuum, suck out the hair out of the inside of your dryers. When you're done doing that, take your cheapest, crappiest, oldest, grossest slicker brush that has been hit the floor and stepped on and the pins are all going, you know, all willy-nilly, and then you take your vacuum filter and you run that slicker brush over it and clean all that gook off of it, because I guarantee it is caked with stuff.
All right, and just so we don't lose the thread on it, Austin said they did a charcuterie board for both people and dogs at a local small pet store that he frequents.
Okay. Yeah, that's a great idea.
And
So
that's actually, that's things like that you can plan for maybe twice a year.
Yep.
During January is a great time for that, because as much as we advise against it, people get puppies on the holiday.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So you have a community meet and greet and put it in your local penny saver. Call the hey, somebody might be having a slow news week for local news. Say, hey,
that press release, send the press release into the newspaper.
Yep. Because there are people that do still read local news. They may read it online, but they'll still read it.
No. I get my paper delivered to my house,
So
and I open that sucker up and I read it.
okay, so yeah, some people get it delivered, some people have access to it online. Whatever your thing is, it's still worth doing. It is still worth doing.
and Mary,
and then Michelle, I cut it up into strips and I put it in my compost pile.
You are my hero. You're doing everything right. Your mushrooms look amazing.
mushrooms are fun to grow. Anyway,
Yeah.
wait, let's not digress into gardening. We'll be here the rest of the day.
Yes, we will.
But
She started it.
Yeah, she always starts it. But honestly, regarding slow times, I think for a lot of what stresses us out, we need to rephrase. We need to rephrase it. We need to change our outlook and our perspective on it. It's not, I mean, I'm not talking about a catastrophically slow time where you're
Right.
having trouble paying all your bills. That is a completely different animal.
Right.
Mhm.
That is a different conversation, and that's a very personalized conversation, because that's like an in-depth.
Yeah,
We
you
got to
got to
look at
rework your business.
we got to rework the business. But
Mhm.
when it's every so often, every couple months, you have a slow week, then it's, whew, I get to breathe this week. I get to do my maintenance work. I get to plan fun things. I get to do this. I get to take a vacation. Not, oh my God, I'm slow. It's you get
Right.
to do these things.
Agreed.
And it's good.
It's very good.
It's good for you. It's good to sit back and relax for a minute and just do those things that, you don't have time for when you're busy. Maybe you need to work on your policy. Maybe you need to update some of your paperwork. Maybe you need to do all those things and you just don't have time because you need to sit down and have a block of time to not be interrupted. There's your time.
Keep that, and going back to the beginning, keep that list. Keep a list in a book or a journal, or I just love little notebooky things. So it's in a kind of an excuse. Keep a little cute notebook and label it slow day projects. And all the things you think of in the middle of the day when you're like, oh, that's a great idea. I should do that, but I don't have time. Make a note in your book.
Yep.
And then you flip through your slow day book and you're like, oh, this would be a perfect time for this.
And make sure also that you're checking your batteries on your smoke and carbon monoxide detectors, please.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm,
That's
mm-hmm.
perfect
it's-
slow day
That
thing.
should just be on the maintenance list anyway.
Especially if you're in a mobile van. That there have been a couple tragedies in mobile vans because groomers have not been checking their carbon monoxide detectors and
And
checking
some didn't
things.
even have them.
And
Right.
some didn't even have them. Yeah.
So if you are mobile and you do not have a carbon monoxide detector, please get one. You can find them on Amazon for like $40. I imagine they're equally priced around, but they're worth having. And
And so
one
let me
in.
just say how important the carbon monoxide detector is, okay? Because you don't smell it, okay?
Right.
And your symptoms don't necessarily appear until there's significant damage already done. So um, when I had my original van and where carbon monoxide comes in, either from the exhaust underneath your vehicle or from the generator, or, okay, if you got your vents going and the lawn crew is there at the same time, you could be pulling in
Yep.
carbon monoxide in as well. All right.
Mhm.
So I knew I had a leak underneath my van and it was scheduled to get repaired. And I'm driving along, and because the latch on the door in between the work area and the cab was broken, the doors will swing open. Okay. And all of a sudden, my carbon monoxide detector goes off. Okay. Yeah. So it's a rainy day. So I rolled down the windows so I could drive over to the dealership because now it's a problem.
Mhm.
Right. So my vacation started like a week earlier. And by the time I arrived at the dealership, okay, with windows down in the pouring rain, I looked like, I don't know, Kathy Bates from, let's see, which one of her movies was it?
Misery.
Misery.
No, no, not Misery. She was in another one. Okay.
Worse.
What was that?
Right.
Worse.
What kind of scale is that?
Yeah. What's worse than that?
I can't think of the name of the movie, but I'm sure now that I'm saying it, the ad for the movie will show up on my phone on Facebook
Oh yeah.
tomorrow.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, we'll all know
But
it.
anyway, she was, I think they were like missionaries or something like that. And she just went like island crazy.
Okay.
Not
No,
fried green tomatoes.
no. And you know what? I'm going to do a Google search for Kathy Bates Island Crazy and just see if the movie actually comes up there. But anyway, you guys continue with the conversation.
Or Mary, you could also go to IMDb and it
Mhm.
just will list her movies.
Another thing I don't notice that we talk about often, we just talk about protocols for the salon and emergency. What do you do if you hurt a dog, this, that, and the other? If you don't have a solid evacuation plan for when something does go wrong, who gets what dog, who's in charge of what kennels and this, that, and the other, and if you don't have plenty of leashes by the front door and the back door, and where you need them, you need to get on that right away. You know, if you're in a strip mall, like our salon's in a strip mall, if somebody, we have a restaurant that fries food, what if they start have a fire and it's nothing to do with us? You know
Mhm.
what I mean? We need to know who's got the back kennels, who's got the front kennels, who's going out back, where we'll be meeting up, how are we going to get a hold of the clients, all the things. So that is something I think is kind of overlooked when making your security plans.
And I don't know if anyone remembers, this had to have been a solid 15 plus or 20-ish years ago. There was a Petco that they were working on the gas lines outside and they hit something and there was an explosion.
Mhm.
And one of the store managers lost her leg and had some brain damage because she kept running back in the building to try to save some, get like the animals out and get like the small
So
animals and
many
stuff
animals,
out.
yeah.
Okay, so that's an emergency and disaster plan. Okay. And now here's a plug for Positive Ed because is it's a
July.
June, July. July is the safety summit, and which Kate Klassen and I on day 2 are doing an emergency and disaster planning workshop. So it's like a 4-hour deal. Um,
That comes with a certificate.
comes with a certificate. But here's the thing, if you also upgrade to get the template, by the time you finish that workshop, you should have the bones of your own emergency and disaster plan.
Fleshed out. Yeah.
And the day before that, on the Sunday, is a 4-hour personal safety course and a 1-hour safety equipment. So it's like all the little things that you need in a salon, like grooming wise. Like these are grooming tools, grooming equipment, to make things easier for when you're grooming, and in order to make things a little bit safer for you, safer for the pet, safer all around. And the personal safety is it's a 4-hour course, and it does come. That's also a tested certificate course. So there's a chance for 2 certificates out of that.
That's Angie. That equipment one isn't the one I'm thinking of, is it?
I
Or
don't
is that
think.
a different month?
No, it's in July,
When am I doing the ergonomic one?
June.
June. Okay. All right.
That's all
So
she
it's-
wanted to know.
So it's not the one it's not my class. Okay. It's a whole,
Yeah.
wow.
No, the safety equipment is simply a 1-hour class.
Okay.
That covers grooming equipment, and your certificate course is in June. So there's a certificate for that class as well, and that's 4-hour class.
I don't know why today, when I'm hearing you say certificate, I'm hearing my father go stiff ticket in my head. I don't. Dad's been dead a long time. I haven't heard that. Okay.
Okay.
That's
He just
now a
popped in
thing.
for a little ha-ha.
He just popped in to be a wise ass because
Yeah.
was a wise ass.
If only that had been passed on.
Listen,
Seems to have completely switched generation.
if you think that's bad, my mother blamed my father my whole life for my attitude. And Mary can attest for this. I have wise ass on both sides of my family. Because Mary, when I introduced you to my aunt and uncle, and I'm like, oh, I've known Mary forever now. And my uncle makes a crack immediately about that being a real long time and we don't look that older. So I forget what he says.
Something.
And I'm like, all right, Mary, now you don't have to guess who was the
Where this came from.
Where this came from.
I can't fight it. It just
you don't have to guess which one is the aunt or uncle by marriage and which one is like my mom's sibling. Like, boom. Thanks, Uncle Alan. I come by my wise ass very honestly, and I have no choice on the matter. Like, I can't even.
It happens.
We're just wondering where on the DNA strand is the little code for wiseassery.
I'm
It's
sure.
there.
I'm sure it is. I am sure it is. I am sure somewhere on that little twist.
They haven't coded everything yet.
There is at least one, if not 2 bars, because there's dry humor and then there's salty humor. So there's, they're in there. I guarantee it. I guarantee it.
I hope I live to see the day, because this is not just a nature versus nurture fight. Oh, hey, Mindy.
Oh,
Come on.
So I don't know why you always forget it's Tuesday. I say you need to set your phone to say live stream Tuesday, 8 p.m. and then your little alarm will go off.
Is that how it works?
It is how it works.
How it works.
Mm-hmm.
It does that.
Okay, the movie is At Play in the Fields of the Lord. One of her not
What is
very
it?
well. It's called "At Play in the Fields of the Lord."
Okay.
Oh, yeah, I never would have guessed that one.
No, and I wasn't showing up and at the IMBD thing. I had to Google Kathy Bates slash missionary.
Ah,
But
Austin,
Oh,
anyway,
hit
okay.
that.
I mean, it's got to be listed on IMDb because everything they've ever been in is listed on that site.
yeah,
Right,
I
that's
know,
where
but
they.
that's not a title that would
But
have popped up to me.
if yeah, but if the title is not going to grab you, then that's not going to help at all. I gotcha.
Austin says, as my grandma said, I am like a bad vacuum cleaner. I have no filter. That is perfection. I love that. I love that. That's
Good.
great.
Okay, is it time for the
Yes.
any
Yes.
Weird facts. Yes. All right. So this week's weird,
there we go.
weird this week's weird facts are in memory,
Angie's Weekly Weird Fact.
of Little Fat Bunny. Okay, so rabbits often sleep with their eyes open. So then how do you know if they're asleep or awake? A rabbit's nose will stop moving when they sleep.
Angie's Weekly Weird Fact.
So when they're awake, their nose is moving. And when they are asleep, their nose will stop moving, even though their eyes are open. And that's the only way you can tell if they are asleep or awake. So I lost my little wild bunny that was half a pet this week. He was 10 years old, and he lived in my most of his time and in the fenced in area. So Mary, Austin was wondering if you got his email.
You know what? What email did it come? Did you email it from? Because I don't see it in my inbox. So I'll do a search for it.
So yes, so that's how you know that rabbits are sleeping when their eyes are open. Which
I can imagine it's because they're prey animals.
it
They
is.
need to know things.
Yeah,
And they need
because
to make other people think they're awake.
yes,
Fair.
yes, and if there's enough movement, it will actually wake them.
Activate the runaway brain.
Yep, it activates the runaway brain. And since their distance vision is so good, like they can see crystal clear for up to 2 miles.
Holy
Which is
cow.
Crazy. So yeah, 2 miles. Dude, they see that coyote like way over there. So by the time the coyote's like, oh, I saw a bunny somewhere, that bunny's like, psh, gone.
I've already got 3 holes I'm going to dive into.
You have no idea where they are. So check you later. Bye. Yeah, so they're so clever. Their vision is so good, and so yeah, I always thought that was fascinating. I had bunnies fall asleep while grooming them because what happens is they get so relaxed, especially like the short-coated bunnies that get a real vigorous brush out because it's a curry brush and plucking, and rabbits enjoy grooming. It's a very social bonding experience for them. So once they sploot, which is like they look like a little bunny starfish, and you're moving out the coat and plucking it and using the curry brush through it rather vigorously, they just kind of go, and they go to sleep. And I've had a few bunnies where I'm like, Judy, you sleeping? Hello, and they're like, huh? Oh. Yeah, that was nice. I like that. And I'm like, yeah, I get it. Good massage will, knock you out if you're good and relaxed. So, yeah.
All right, Austin, I found your email. I will respond later today.
And And also, Angie, can I say, it doesn't feel like a good reason to me, but is it a good reason to want to eventually learn to groom bunnies just because you really like the word sploot?
Yeah.
Yes. Oh, it totally is. It is enough of a reason. So
Okay.
yes, it is. Bunnies are the coolest. If dogs could be calmed by simply petting their head and their ears, and that's it, and just doing that, and just, rubbing on their heads, and that's all it took for every single dog, every single time. Do you know how easy grooming would be? It's
Yeah,
like,
that would
oh,
be
you don't like your nails done. Oh, now you're good with the nails? Okay. What the what? No, that never works that way. Because it's always like the Bernese Mountain Dog that's like really way oversized and way overweight, who's like trying to kick you in the face. And you're like, okay, calm down. And he's like, yeah, I hate you and don't pick up my foot.
And the Black Russian Terriers who are sweet for everything else,
No,
and you go to
no.
touch their feet, and then it's
Yeah,
like,
no.
I have teeth the size of your
Oh, that's
head.
yucky. I
Yeah.
don't want to hear it.
Yeah, fun.
Mhm.
But if you could just go like this and they go, oh, that's lovely. And then they turn into like a little egg-shaped kind of starfish on your table and just it's beautiful. And then like when you give them, my favorite thing is a bunny scissor trim. I could do those all day. Oh my god, it's so good. You're just making little fuzzy eggs. Dude, it's awesome. And then when you're trimming their faces, it's just another little egg-shaped little thing. And you just pull their whiskers forward and they're like, oh, and they'll hold their face there. All you need to do is take one finger to pull the whiskers forward, and they don't even move. They're like, do my cheeks. Yes.
Angie is not enamored of rabbits
At all.
They're amazing.
She
They
doesn't even like them, I don't think.
She's
love them
just
so much.
what a fraud. What a fraud.
What
What a fraud.
Dude, they're amazing. Anytime you get the chance to give a scissor trim to a rabbit, oh my god, you're gonna do it, and then you're just gonna be. It's addictive because they're so happy and they love it so much. Although I will tell you that when you are grooming them, and they always have like this little chunk of hay sticking down the bottom of their chin, and you just kind of go funk and pull out the gob of hay, and then they watch you and they're like, that was my snack.
I was
saving then-
that for later.
And then you put it in the trash. They're like,
What?
dude. So there has to be a lot of, okay, I'm sorry. I know I literally threw that away right in front of you. But I do love you. You're lovely. So yeah, you do get the when you do that. But bunnies, other than that, where they do get a little, and I've had bunnies thump at me before for that. Well, not at me, because my assistant Angie would do the face. And I get the poopy end, and she gets the nice kissy sweet end. And she would pull the little chunk of hay out, and then literally like without any, just right in the trash, and the bunny would be like, dude, I thought we were friends, what the hell? And so yeah, and occasionally they would thump because they were mad that you stole that, and they were just like, yeah, you suck. And so then I would have to sue them because she took their hay.
You did the bad thing.
Yeah,
Did the bad thing, and now they're mad.
Yeah,
Okay,
so then
so-
I would sue them. They'd be happy.
Okay, so Teton is the next show, correct?
Yes.
All right. So which of us is gonna be a Teton?
Yay! Hi, Michelle. I'm tired.
I'm intellectually ready.
Yes.
But I'm not at all packed or nothing. Nothing is thought of, or I have a list on a piece of paper, That's about it right now. We're
You're
leaving
ahead of
Thursday
me.
morning. So
Okay, but having that list, you have already begun preparation, so you know what you need to bring. And
and
now
it's all amassed in one big place. So all I have to do is pull and put
there
it
you
in.
go.
And it's
See, so the hard part is over.
yes.
The easy part is just putting it together. Think of it like a recipe.
Yeah.
The hard part is coming up with the recipe.
And I've packed it before, so it's not like it's my first time. So I can easily put everything in there together, organized, blah blah blah.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to redo my
I got
packing.
your email. I responded to it. So check your spam to see if it's there.
Ah,
Can we have that put up on the ticket?
Mary's like, per my last email.
Per my last email.
So
All righty.
All right.
All right.
So I will not be here next week. I won't anyway. So the ladies will. Denise should be back too. Unless there's a trade show or something or other.
I believe she will be in Teton as well, but probably home by Tuesday.
Probably.
All looking
But
a little tired. But I'll be here fresh.
Yeah, I will.
So
I will be
I'll
home
keep you going.
by technically Tuesday. So I will, if I am conscious, I will be here.
Yeah, by Tuesday I ought to be rested. We're coming home on Monday.
Nice.
You know, I will bug you, Chris, and go.
All right. So if
And
there's
I'm gonna-
anything you want to discuss, again, drop it in the comments for us. And most of us will be here next week.
Yes. Yeah. Any topics that you've got that are grooming related, or even tangentially grooming related,
Mhm.
we can usually find a way to draw it all together. So
we're good at that.
dogs, cats, bunnies, little demon sugar gliders that want to eat your soul.
Sugar gliders can't be demons. That's a lie. They're too cute and tiny.
Dude, I had a sugar glider bite me 13 times before I could get the front nails done. I was bleeding everywhere. Literally everywhere. I had to put on latex gloves to hold the blood in because it was getting all over the sugar glider. So then I finally got him like cleaned up after he's continuing to bite me. So he bit me a total of 23 times. I put him back in his little sack of and handed him back to his dad. And I look at him and he smiles at me. And his whole mouth was all blood. And I said,
From you.
"Oh, very sorry. His mouth is covered in blood. It's not his." And I took the latex gloves off and just went plop.
Oh,
So I'm like, "It's mine. I'm gonna go clean up. You can pay up front. Thank you very much for coming." He gave me a $50 tip.
That's hilarious.
I literally
No,
bled.
the one sugar glider I ever did nails on was actually really sweet, Angie.
Yeah.
I go,
Oh my God. This little creature, he's like, "It's just evil. I don't know why my son got it."
so
The one evil one in the whole world that you got it.
so
Yeah.
basically what you're saying, Angie, is they got the vampire myth wrong. It's not bats, it's sugar
No,
gliders.
Sugar gliders. Because,
Okay.
here's the thing is they scream and they have like this low, weird, creepy, it's like a demon-y sort of scream. And so like when we took the little guy out of the bag, we're like, "Oh, hello. Hello." And he just went, "Ah!" And I was like, "Oh my God." Oh my God. It's a terrible.
I don't want to do it no more. I don't want it.
I was just like, "Oh my God." Okay. And it just hissed. And like the whole time. And so, like we're big on the soothing and this kind of thing. So Angie's got the Frisk gloves on. And she's like, "Oh, it's okay, little guy. We're just gonna do, quick little tappy tappies and get those little nails done." And so I tried to cut them with the nail clipper, but the problem is I had to hold the toe, and every time I did, he'd bite my finger.
Mhm.
And then after this whole finger was all bitten like 8, 9 times, I was like, okay, it's starting to swell and I can't bend it anymore,
Oh,
more than
no.
it's already messed up and bent. So then he started just biting the thumb. And so then that was all just bloody and messy. And he was just a horrible little sugar glider. And
That's like a Monty Python scene.
it was. But he couldn't understand why this stupid woman continued to cut his nails, even though he was biting the ever living crap out of her.
Mhm.
And I
It's
was
like,
like,
Oh, did
I
you see
said, I said as clearly as I can, don't touch my feet.
yeah.
Did you
Exactly.
see the video?
Exactly.
The
On
problem
Facebook?
was his dad had like scratches all down his face and all down his neck. He said, "Well, when I open the cage to feed him, he jumps out and he scratches me." And I'm just like, "Oh my god!" So I had to help the man do something because he looked like he just got attacked by like he was on like one of those paranormal shows or something. It was awful.
Yeah.
So
All
I
right.
don't.
Did you see the Facebook video going around of the guy's holding his pap and it squeezes out from his arm and
And just
does
go, "Nyah."
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the sugar glider repetitively, just "Nyah, nyah, nyah, nyah." And yeah,
Oh, I saw one the other day that the hairdresser was brushing or cutting a elderly lady's hair, and she had gray, white, silver hair or whatever, and she cut herself. And we've all done this at one point or another. And she's like, "Oh, like this," and so she just starts cutting her hair, and she's just bleeding all down the lady's face and everything. She's like, and then she goes, "Okay, friend, you can pay on friend," or what like that, and then she just collapses from the loss of blood.
Oh, no.
It was hilarious.
yep,
It's
yep.
always the white dogs.
Yes.
Or the teeny tiny biting little
Yeah.
sugar glider.
Yeah.
And literally, it was. I had to put ended up putting paper towels in the gloves
Mhm.
because his needle teeth were so fine and so sharp that even though he was bruising Angie with the frisk gloves on, and she's like, "I can't do this for much longer. Can you hurry?" And she had little tiny bruises all over her
Yeah.
fingers because she was wearing the frisk gloves, which you can't do if you're holding an itty bitty teeny weeny pair of nail clippers.
Right.
And
I imagine your skin didn't have time to even recognize that you were cut or bitten because they're so razory.
yeah,
So it takes a while for the clotting action to even start. So I
Yeah.
imagine that took a minute.
so yeah, I ended up stuffing. So I put the latex gloves on, or the neoprene or whatever, and so then I was stuffing because now it's leaking down my arm.
Oh my god.
And so I'm stuffing towels in because I have now the gloves are full of holes and it's just
Nice.
everywhere. It looks like a crime scene.
Sure.
And
Mhm.
so the man is just he was in the room and he was like, "Oh," and he went out in the hall. Like, "Oh no." And out he went. And I was like, "I'll clean him up, sir. I promise. I'll get all of this off of him." And he's like, "You, it's fine."
He'll lick it off later as a snack.
And so that's when I had to explain that he wasn't wearing lipstick. It was my blood that he was
Your
consuming.
life force that he was sucking out of your body.
And then when I don't know why I took the gloves off, but I did. And I don't remember in that moment when I was thinking, I was just like, and then it just went bloop, like all over the floor. And it was not on one of the mats, like the rubber mats that we had on. No, it was on the white floor. So it just kind of went.
The contrast was excellent.
And he was just like, "Oh."
Mhm.
Thank you.
Thank you. Um,
Can I
it
come back again?
Oh, and that's the real question. Did he come back?
He did not.
Oh,
Well, not with the sugar glider. He did come back with the bunny. Apparently, the sugar glider was rehomed.
Mm.
to a
So,
sanctuary where nobody had to touch its evil ass?
pretty much.
Okay.
Pretty much. Because, yeah, he said he said it was too small and it couldn't be controlled. And they tried to train it. And he said it really had no success. And it was just a violent
Yeah,
little
if you
creature.
don't bond with them early, they're just feral.
Yeah.
They
Well-
have to be handled by somebody that they trust over and over.
Aren't they kind of wild animals that we just went,
Yeah.
you're cute, you're going to be a pet
Yeah.
now?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
So,
So, yeah. Yeah. So they got a bunny who was a lovely bunny, and it was a very sweet bunny, and big old male bunny. They got him up at the shelter, and he was fantastic and happy and sweet. And he said he sheds everywhere, and we love him to pieces.
Oh, that's good.
So
Uh,
yeah,
okay,
and,
So, ladies,
wait, before we wrap up, because we're so late, for those who are artistically inclined, now we need a drawing of a tiny sugar glider with like blood dripping off its mouth, and it just says tiny but fierce.
I love it.
seriously,
We need that. We need that for Angie. Okay, yes. We're
Oh, trust me, I have the scars. I will never forget. I will never forget. Literally, my hands look like kielbasa from that little crazy thing.
okay, so on that note, we'll see everybody next week.
We'll see you guys later.